Alright, so everyone, let's go ahead and get this started here. Let's take a look here, see what we got going on. So we've just finished up with getting Grond under our grubby paws here for corn. Now let's go ahead and take out Crone Helebron with Spite Reach here. Now Spite Reach is actually pretty crazy, mostly because it actually gives us access to wine, which is a huge buff. It gets +5 melee attack to every single marauder in our faction, all of our marauder infantry. And Frenzy itself is going to be 10%, so like it's a +10 to attack and 10% damage, so another +5 is absolutely crazy. That stacked with the 8 we're getting from the Chaos God boon there on top of that gives it the 5 to 8, so what, that's 13 there, +10 from the Frenzy, so it's +23 melee attack for every single one of the units with Marauder in its tail. Absolutely nuts. So we really want to get this one, and this is actually one of the few ones that absolutely are worth keeping for us. Now, it's not going to be the biggest thing right now to make sure that, you know, we're like just sitting here camping it, because of course we want to be on the offensive there, but it's going to be really important that we do keep Spite Reach here just to make sure that nobody else touches that there. And then down the line, if we do find any other wine, then we do want to build those up there, just because that 5 does stack. So if I get 3 things of wine, that's +15 to attack, already beaten out Frenzy at that point. So super duper awesome that there are a couple different tradable things you can do here. There are a couple techs we're looking at here. Ultimately, we are just going to go touch on Honed Blades at the top there. Like we discussed last video, we're just going to be going for that bonus rage for all of the units with the marked corn with the dual weapons. Just cutting, slicing, and making everything real pretty for us here. So first off, we took Spite Reach. Mung wants a trade agreement. That's totally fine, no big deal. Let's go ahead and see here. So now there's 2 ways we could do this. We could go to the right and then go down where their armies are, but that would leave Quark up there completely alone, that city. So what I'm instead gonna do here is we're actually gonna go slam into the Black Pillar, and we're going to take that, and then we're going to go up. Now, that does leave our flank down here a little undefended. However, that's the direction we're coming right back down, so it's not going to be that big of a deal if it is just a little bit worse for wear once we do that. All right, boom. Auto-resolve. We take the Black Pillar. Nice and easy here, and then we do this one. Now, this only buffs Marauder Horsemen. It's not as big of a deal. Of course, Marauder Horsemen do take a lot of damage, so it's good to keep them around, but, you know, not gonna break the bank here by any means if we lose this for whatever reason. Just a quick look around here, seeing if there's any good lords or any good units that I want to recruit. Nothing too special. At the very far right of those buildings there, looks like they're offering me peace, so they're about to die. Looks like at the very far right of the buildings there, what I was hovering over is actually, you can see what units you could recruit whenever you walk into the territory. So you can see a 6 there as the garrison and a 6 next to that. That's the amount of different units I could recruit in that section. So this can save you a lot of time there. Instead of having to like go and click into every single one, you can just hover over one in each of the cities there and just take a look at everything possible. Ultimately, we're going to be giving up this city because this doesn't provide us wine. If only every building provided wine, wouldn't that be a glorious thing? We're going to grab Chaos Strategist here, get that healing, get everything up and running. Everything will be perfect. And just continue upgrading this. So this will be money. This will be more money and wizards. Wizards are super OP, especially on the harder difficulties if you're struggling. A lot of your time, your corn units can carry you through it without it. But yep, see, they're attacking here, but they do know we're nearby. So they don't actually take the city, they just sack it, which would be a much bigger deal. Oh, 20 charge bonus for all of our units. Don't mind if I do. Yep, so they did die, so that's probably why they took that deal, gave us money for peace, because they wanted to survive, and they did.
Obstructs us.
Anyway, so we're gonna just force march right up here to the edge. Nice and easy here. We're gonna go ahead and take here. They got another army over there and an army there. You could theoretically repair this, like put stuff aside, but I typically find if there is an enemy army within reach, like within about a turn or so, it's not worth repairing. We could build some guys to just try to like defend it, but if they attack, those guys would die, so completely pointless to go ahead and do so. So we're just gonna go ahead, leave that alone for now, and end turn, see what, oh, they want to fight us, and we can auto-resolve for no casualties. Okay, that's how you beat a stack and a half of Dark Elves attacking you in Force March. The game will just, you know, say that you automatically win. That we probably would have anyway. We've got a whole bunch of guys with shields, and they take a bunch less damage from their guys, and all of their benefits of being armor piercing is completely wasted on our lower tier units right now. So, yep, we'll go ahead, level some of our hammer and anvil, make our little cavalry guys a little bit stronger. Nothing to lose here as we take this out. Alright, just checking out, we've got Mage Hunter here, because we did beat a mage, so if we do have a little bit of magic in our repertoire, we do get an aura around us that reduces missile damage as well as magic damage, and it gives him more magic resist as well. We'll just go ahead and also have magic resist for the whole army as well. So Khorne by default already has some, so that brings us up to 45% just for our basic infantry. That's not going to do too much against massive single target stuff. Also, you can see our guys here are frenzy because they're our vassals. Let's go ahead and take out Harganeth, their capital, wildly undefended. We'll kill our dog units, not a big deal. They don't upgrade anyway, so we'll just go ahead and toss them to the wolves. And we'll just keep it moving there. See if we can grab another kind. See if we've got some marauders probably we can grab, or, you know, we'll go ahead and repair this. Since now there's any armies to attack it, it won't be lost. And yep, we got some Marauder horsemen. Basically, can replace the dog units in a 1-for-1 that's even better. We've got our little skull cannon there still, so that one still can't upgrade. But we do have these guys. Not all of them can upgrade, but this guy can. So we'll go ahead and upgrade him. Well, since we are still fighting people with missiles, we're just going to keep going shields. It is pretty boring, but it gives us more melee attack. And we'll go ahead and upgrade our tree here so we can actually get her to demonhood there, getting her a lot more physical resistances, so she's pretty tanky out the lot. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and just change some of these here. Change this back to melee defense. Melee defense is typically the one you want to go to by default, and we're gonna go ahead and grab a sorcerer. Now, sorcerers are by default come in two flavors for Valkia, flame or metal. Metal is going to be a little bit better for your armor piercing. Flame is going to be better for your general AoE. It does have a little bit of armor piercing, but one of the big things is flames. We're just going to go ahead and take souls here. I don't want to worry about those. But for flames, one of the big things here is that, and he's got the corruptor boon, so since he's in a land that's corrupted, he makes it more corrupted. Super helpful. It's not helpful at all, actually. It's a waste. CA, please no. Or change, because it is off. Alright, so we can go ahead and start moving that now.
Yes.
The Flame Wizard's passive buffs flame damage, and a lot of Khorne units, especially later on, will get flaming attacks. Just kind of inherent into a lot of their late game units. Typically the Mortal Champions don't have it by default, but it'll help us buff our own units there, and it can give a lot of flaming attacks to our guys and bluff the amount of flame damage we deal. So if we do need a wizard, flame is just going to be really good because lowering their flame resistance, thus increasing our flame damage, and having a wizard there. Not quite in the spirit of Corn, but up, and we lucked out here. We got a talisman of preservation. I'll go ahead and give Valkia a huge percentage boost of ward saves, so that'll protect her from spells, missiles, physical attacks, magic hammer attacks. Whatever they've got thrown at us, we're going to go ahead and resist it. And looks like Crone Helebron wants vengeance for us stealing her capitals. Let's save this up and take her down here. Now, Valkia is pretty strong. She's got the Banner of Rage, so she basically has Frenzy, and then another version of Frenzy with the Banner of Rage on her. We've got our guy, and they are, for the most part, just a bunch of archers. So ultimately speaking, there isn't really a way for us to lose this battle. Their archer units are going to be trading really poorly into our shielded variant guys. We've got superior cavalry, so we can get right on top of them, and their guys are not better than ours in melee. With our buffs from the Chaos Boon, the Frenzy, and just having wine makes, our guys smack super hard. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a flank here. See if we can get our guys here. Doesn't look like there's enough room, so let's go ahead and try this side. Okay, there is enough room for us to deploy our units. So they've got that little arrow above them, so they've got what's called Vanguard deployment. So there's a little ring basically outside of the normal deployment zone where Vanguard deploy units can deploy themselves. So basically kind of like a Vanguard or like an advanced force. Typically faster units, stealthy units, they'd be able to deploy a little bit farther up, closer to the enemy. Some maps are really generous with this, where the Vanguard deployment zone is almost right on top of them. Other ones like this, it's not super generous. We kind of have to go super far behind. Let's go ahead and take them out here. And we've got our bonuses. So what we're gonna do here is we did set it up here, same as before. We've got our big, thick warriors of chaos guys with shields in the middle, but they're gonna hold the line. We're gonna have our smaller marauder guys flanking around the back, and then we've got our cavalry flanking directly from behind. So, we're gonna be trying to, engulf them around the sides there, so their units have very little chance to shoot us, and then of course hit them from the back directly. Ideally, if we can close 100% of them into melee, none of their units will survive, and then hopefully our Consort of Thorn can beat their wannabe lover of Cain, which is totally not Corn in a different hat. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Valkia the Bloody! Give me blood!
Alright, so we're going to go ahead buff up our charge bonus even further there. Alright, it's just going to activate our Frenzy ability, so... And we've got anti-large, so that shouldn't be too terrible of a fight. We'll go ahead and... Yeah, it looks like they didn't leave. Since they're mostly archers, they didn't bother deploying any of their guys back here to defend most of their archers, so we're just going to go ahead and straight up charge. All of our cavalry right in there. We got our infantry closing in, not the biggest deal. We got our cannons slamming the few melee guys they do have, and all those missiles just flanking helplessly against our shields. And then we'll go ahead, just tell everybody, get in there, kill, blood for the blood god, for the love of God, kill all of them. And you can see Valkia getting absolutely wrecked by a unit she should trade well against. So, oh god, shit. Everyone's running away in terror. Oh, these holy chosen ones of the blood god fleeing for their lives off the battlefield because they went against their first non-wizard opponent in battle. Let's get the skill cannon out of here. Looks like the person on the parade float is taking them out. And then Crone Helebron's looking for a real fight, so she's fighting the regular guys at Corn. Come on, cannon, get out of there. Alright. Can you redeem yourself and take out a blimp float thing? It looks like they got their big buff to armor piercing damage, but again, we don't care. Just charging all of our guys in. Their statue of Cain is messing up our little cannon. Alright, Valkia. You got a bonus versus large. Show us what it can. Oh, you're already getting. You're already taking huge hits. Well, you know what they say. If you're not bleeding, the blood god isn't happy.
The Gorequeen!
Lord. Alright, run away! Run away. Please run away. Alright. Let's go ahead. We'll keep taking those out. As you can see here, their actual infantry are just getting absolutely shredded. All of their range unit, and they have a net, so my guys can't even run away. Yeah, maybe if we can pull this guy over to help.
Yes!
Ow. Now run away this way.
Battle hungry!
For Valkia! Oh, okay, so they've got some Hargonet executionaries that are still running around doing stuff. Not gonna be super helpful for them. Thankfully, the Skull Cannon can fire and run, so. And, their units, just in case they thought there was a way out, there is not. They are getting absolutely decimated, but since their lords are impervious, apparently, to our lords, let's go ahead and drag out our missile units here. Cavalry does actually have a secondary function where they can throw armor-piercing hand axes, because, you know, that's one of the things I've always noticed whenever I'm hucking hand axes there at that little wooden target there, that if I was really good at it, I could the enchanted plate. Like, that wouldn't be a problem at all. So, you know, all hand axes are armor-piercing. So, we're gonna go ahead, pull those aside here, and yeah, that'll do it. See if we can run some people down here once they break. Especially her. They want to select. Please select.
With fury and hatred.
And for the mark of a god of chaos, maybe show a little chutzpah. Come on, get in there. Okay, well, she's gone. All right, everybody kill the parade float. Everybody go kill it. All right, we're gonna run in front of it there, and then we're gonna hit Alt-click, so then they charge in, and that's gonna take care of that. It's kind of interesting that, like, the massive, like, various large units. Okay, Pyrrhic victory. Oh, who would have guessed that we took a ton of damage? Alright, well, only her and, like, her small group of guys survived that fight, so not the biggest deal. And then we're gonna get, okay, trade, we get more damage. Oh, look, a whole bunch of melee defense. Well, that would have been really useful that last fight. Maybe our 1v1 melee-only specialist would have been able to beat their 1v1 melee-only specialist. So let's go ahead. We're going to actually grab more Vanguard deployment there for actually all of our Chaos Warrior infantry, giving us a more tactical advantage. And we'll go ahead and run up here. Take this staff here. Dargoth doesn't provide us anything super useful, but we'll go ahead, take it, give us a place to heal, and this one is actually pretty useful. So the Obsidian actually increases the damage of our Marauder Horsemen by 10%. Their missile damage, sorry. So that'll go ahead and mean those armor-piercing axes that, like, if you just tuck one from the back of your horse, chops through, like, 3 inches of magically enchanted plate. That now does 10% more damage. Maybe they added a second hand axe to the back due to their incredible armor-piercing properties. You know, I just want to talk like 15 of them together. Okay, so she wants peace. Let's see if we can get her to be a vassal. Well, you're not going to serve the Chaos Gods, then you're just going to die. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. So she's still there in forced march. Okay, so we can't reach the city, but we can reach her. You're standing outside of the city, which effectively dooms her. And we can just auto-resolve. We don't take any losses. We'll just take our souls. We'll take this city for now.
Battle brings
I know you
conquest.
get a chance to vassalize, but I guess it doesn't give us the option to vassalize Crone Helebron, so she is going to be just taking
There
a
will
ton of
always be
attrition here.
blood.
We've got a couple options here.
My
Let's go ahead
proficiency
and grab
is
some more
unsurpassed.
cavalry buffs there, and all of our guys got enough experience points. Chaos Warrior time, everyone. Now we've got bigger shields and thicker armor. Hopefully they don't have any hand axes. Alright, let's go ahead and see here. Alright, we're gonna go move our wizard up further so he can eventually join our main force.
Kane, take you.
Crone there. Okay, let's see what she does here. And she kills herself by running into a superior force, dying to auto-resolve. Well, that is one way to kill Crone Helebron, everybody. A person who can 1v1 Valkia, the Gorequeen, to the point where Valkia is running away in terror. Diving in there and can take out everyone to losing to a couple basic marauders in the middle of nowhere. We do have the option at some point if we want to go get the Spear of Sleipnir and get a small amount of attack damage in anti-large. Okay, well, that'll be on the back burner forever. A lot of those missions to get items, ultimately 90% of those items right now are not worth getting. Now, if you're like marching for like 20,000 years across the mountains or something and through areas that you're going to be healing anyway, sure, go fight out the battle if you really want to, but 9 times out of 10, it's not really worth doing unless you really need the cash or you really need an awful item like the Crown of Command.
Mistress of Skulls.
So let's go ahead and keep going there. It does also provide casualty replenishment rate, so as long as you guys can replenish afterwards, it's not that big of a deal. We'll go ahead and move our guy up here as well. So next video here, we're actually going to be going and taking on Sigvald the Magnificent and his fabulous amount of marauders that he has that travels with him. There, that's the little orange faction there with the horse on them. Those will all serve him right now. Sort of like these guys are my vassals, those guys are his vassals. So it's going to be a big duke out between me, him, and his vassals. We're going to take that up here.
At once.
We're just going to go ahead, give all these little settlements that we don't care about. Now, Negrar would give us something, being that it has a wood resource there. You can see the little wood icon, but unfortunately it has a port, so you can only have a port if it's on the port. You can't have a port and a small tent for cutting logs. That is impossible beyond the means of chaos. Let's go ahead, we'll build up some outposts here. We'll just get everything ready to go ahead and take out Sigvald here in just a smidge, making sure that we're not hanging on to any useless things. There's all those extra buildings and places that we're not using. Not only do we sell them back to our vassals for cash, we get money as well from that. Oh, okay, so they're going to want a trade agreement. We're not going to accept that because that'll actually hurt us. And we're going to go ahead and make this choice next time in part 3, where we take out Sigvald the Magnificent.